Good morning, everybody. Today I am in Bucks County, more specifically Solberry Township. So straight ahead you might see a covered bridge. Was really nowhere to park here, so not sure how much time I'm gonna spend because my car is right over there. I just have the hazard lights on and I'm parked on the side of the road. But there doesn't seem to be very much traffic here. So there is some history to this bridge, more specifically some haunted history. I know I've mentioned this before, I don't really believe in ghosts or any of that, but I happen to have my friend Debbie with me. And Debbie kind of wanted to check this bridge out. All right, so it says 73. Now, I don't know what that means, but it says 73, County of Bucks, Van Sant Covered Bridge, built 1873. And then, you know, I've noticed this on other bridges. It says clearance 10 foot 3 inches, length 86 feet. But then there is another sign under it, a more modern sign, 9 feet 8 inches. So why is that? Is that because they don't want trucks that are close to 10 feet 3 inches to try to pass? I'm gonna guess that a lot of these bridges were damaged due to trucks that maybe shouldn't have attempted to go through the bridge. Always fun to walk through these bridges. And this bridge is still open to traffic. However, I have not seen any cars as of yet. So I'm just walking up this ridge of the bridge. Ridge of the bridge. Not sure you would consider it the ridge, but anyway, the support system. All right, so that is the Pitcock Creek, and I really want to work my way down there, but I'm seeing no trespassing signs. So I am going to see if we can make our way down on the other side. And I believe this is Pitcock Road, where I parked. All right, so I don't see any no trespassing signs on this side. So let's make our way down to the creek. Always love checking out the creek. We have some old stonework here. Definitely looks like repaired concrete. I'm assuming this is the original stonework, but I do not know that for sure. So if you're from the area and you have some info, please leave it in the comments. So let's just walk under the bridge. Not sure why I want to walk under the bridge, but I don't know. There's always something cool getting a view like this. You see the steel supports, and then the original, I'm assuming the original wooden bridge. Very peaceful in this area. I would really like to get a picture from the side, but it's going to be kind of difficult to do. Unfortunately, there's not a trail here to get over to that island. And I don't know this for sure, but I kind of feel if you're actually in the creek, you're not on private property. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I've heard. But I don't see an easy path over there. So not sure we're gonna get that picture, but it's probably not that much more interesting than this. So far I've been referring to this as the Sandt Bridge, but a lot of the locals refer to it as Crybaby Bridge. Despite its charming appearance, the bridge carries a far darker reputation. So according to local legend, many years ago, a young woman, pregnant and rejected by her family, she came here in secret. Heartbroken and desperate, she threw her newborn into the creek below and then hanged herself from the bridge rafters. So now I'm getting a little scared. I always preface by saying I don't believe in ghosts or any of that, but sometimes when I'm at a location and I read a story like that, it's a little spooky. So the story I just told is a common story here in Sulbury Township. But as far as history goes, there's actually no solid evidence. There were no police reports. Nobody's been able to find any newspaper articles or official records to confirm that this tragedy ever happened. And actually the story mirrors a lot of other stories around the country associated with covered bridges. And I'm thinking if this was built in 1873, had something like that happened, you would think there would be, I don't know, there'd be some type of a news article somewhere, right? Maybe yes, maybe no. I mean, I guess you got to remember, in 1873, this was sparsely populated. So far, no cars, just bikes. This is a beautiful section of Pennsylvania to ride your bike. So if you're into biking, I definitely suggest hitting some of these historic areas of Bucks County. They're beautiful. All right, so as I'm heading back to the bridge, Debbie was sitting in the car, so I grabbed her because Debbie, she loves this stuff. She believes in ghosts and spirits and everything. So what were you just telling me, Deb?
I have an app, a Spirit Talker app, and I asked who was here, and I gave my name, and it said she has her eye on you. And
so you're telling me according to your app, which
yes.
I don't believe in, but anyway, there's a spirit here right now.
And she has her eye on me.
And she has her eye on us.
And I also asked for a name later, and it said Richard, and another one said Wilson. I don't know if it's Richard Wilson or two different people.
So Richard Wilson, if you're here, hi!
Also said at the end, we're at peace.
You know what? I really shouldn't joke because I know a lot of people believe in that. And who am I to say, right? Okay, here comes some more bikes that are ready to take me out.
Everything all right?
Everything's wonderful.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Thank you.
Okay, still good. I hope I'm in it.
You are now.
All right.
Well, they were kind of cool. Bikers tend to have a sort of a rude image, and to be honest with you, I've run into a lot that are kind of nasty, but they were kind of cool. So they say if you visit late at night, Deborah Ann, you can still hear her sobs. Now, when I'm saying her, you weren't with me. Supposedly, there was a woman who got pregnant, her family disowned her, and she threw the baby, oh God, into this creek, and then she hung herself from the rafters. So from haunted websites, I'm reading that if you visit late at night, you still hear her sobs, or the distant wail of a baby carried on the wind. Very, very scary stuff. And you know, I'm kind of joking about it, but if something like this really did happen here at one time, not that I believe there would be ghosts, but it's kind of such a sad story, it's really scary. Oh my God, there goes a car. All right, I have to turn my camera on because Debbie is playing along with her app as we're talking. So as I said...
As you said, you can hear her crying.
Yes.
It said false, and it said Constance and Ava. I don't know what her name was.
I don't know if you heard what Debbie just said, but make of it what you will. So, you know, as I talk about this, right, because I always say I'm a skeptic. And I am a skeptic. But in some ways, I think I choose to be a skeptic. It's like I don't want to open myself up to things like this, right? Or at least that's kind of how I feel. So I am going to remain a non-believer. Oh, people say if you come here in the middle of the night and you just park your car in the middle of the bridge, you can hear screams or a baby crying in the distance. And there's a lot of accounts of that happening. So here is my skeptic theory. Some people simply make that up. Other people have probably done it and have heard some unusual or interesting sounds, or maybe even truly felt they heard a baby screaming. So what I think could have happened or may happen, this is a really wooded area down here on both sides of the bridge. And I'm going to guess that it is a very good habitat for a red fox or red foxes, fox? But a red fox. And the reason I find that so believable, I currently live in Bucks County. So I moved from Philadelphia to Bucks County, and me and my daughter heard what we thought was a baby crying in the woods or a young child. I mean, it was really, really, really scary behind our condo. Turns out, after doing a little research, it is the sounds that a red fox makes. I'm not sure if it has something to do with mating or if they're being attacked, or I'm not really sure. I'll do a little research and put it on the screen. But if you know the sounds I'm talking about that a red fox makes in the middle of the night, you would probably agree with me that that might be a good explanation. So up on that sign, over County of Bucks, there's a number 73. I don't know what that means, so I will do a little research to try to figure out what that means. I think I just figured it out. If it was built in 1873, quite possibly that's what the 73 means. But it says built in 1873, so I don't know why they would put that up there. It may have a different meaning. So here is an old cornerstone. Maybe it's not a cornerstone because it's not on the corner, but we have this right here, Sandt Bridge, 1875. Abraham Thompson, Charles B. Yost, Samuel Keller, commissioners. C. Arnett and P.S. Naylor were the builders. So that definitely says 1875. And that absolutely says 1873. So what's up with that? Crazy. So just another quick, you know, I'm really not an expert on covered bridge. I'm far from it. In fact, I think a lot of these just kind of look the same. So I have no idea what type of construction this is. But my curious mind brought me to, why did they build so many of these covered bridges back in the day? So I looked it up. All right, we have a motorcycle coming, so I'm gonna wait till he passes by. All right, so I looked it up, and the reason these covered bridges were built, it was not cosmetic. The main purpose behind building them was to protect the actual bridge, because it's all wood, and I guess they didn't have pressure treating chemicals back then. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but even if it were pressure treated, it would rot in time. So these beautiful, wonderful bridges were built to protect the actual bridge from rotting, which makes sense. If you live in Pennsylvania or you live in the Northeast, you know that we get some pretty extreme weather. Lots of rain in the spring, lots of cold, frigid temperatures in the winter. So it definitely makes sense. So there you have it. The Van Sant Covered Bridge, or if you prefer, Crybaby Bridge. So in addition to the story I told you about this being Crybaby Bridge and the woman throwing her infant child into the creek and hanging herself, I've also read that it's believed that horse thieves were hung from these rafters as well. And that, to me, is totally believable. Horse thievery was usually dealt with severely back in the 19th century. So yeah, I could see that. If someone was caught stealing horses in this area, they would most likely string them up right here. Maybe just dump the body. And quite possibly there would be no historical record of that, because, you know, by the 1870s, 1880s, you know, this wasn't the Wild West, so it would be criminal to just hang a horse thief. So who knows how many secrets this covered bridge truly holds. And there's Debbie again. I'm getting ready to end the video. Would you like to add anything else? She's researching her phone.
The story goes that if you park your car in the middle of the bridge, you can hear not only the wail of the poor forlorn babe, but also the toes of the woman scraping your car roof.
Ooh. So should we try that, or does it have to be at night?
Doesn't say at night, but we can try it.
You know, we're not gonna feel anything on the top of the car, but we're gonna try it real quick. So stay with us. All right, so here we go. We are going to park in the middle of Crybaby Bridge. Are you getting scared, Deb?
No.
So what are we supposed to hear?
Things on the roof, like toenails scrape. We're not in the
All right,
middle.
hold on.
Okay.
Is this the middle?
Yeah. Yes. All right, now turn the car off.
Oh God, turn the car off. What if a car comes?
We'll have to start real quick.
All right, the car's off. Now we're supposed to hear scratching on the top of the roof.
And
That was just the window going. No babies yet. Of course, that's me. But anyway, we're not going to stay here too long because I'm thinking a car's going to come. You have anything in closing here, Debbie?
No.
We'll do it. You want to come back and do this in the middle of the night. Yes. Debbie's saying if we do it at night, we're going to hear something. And she's probably right. We will probably hear a fox screaming in the woods. Oh God, I was afraid maybe my car wouldn't start. All right, so let's get out of the bridge. get one more look at this bridge. And I'm gonna end my video here. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this interesting. It's a little different than most of my videos, but if you could give it a like, that would be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. And I will see you in the next video. Have an awesome weekend. Take care, everybody.